Okay, let's get started. Thank you everyone for joining into this session this morning, and I hope that you all are pumped for the second day at Ignite, or the third day for those of you that attended the pre-day. Yeah.
All right, so many customers of ours have challenges with the cloud and cloud security adoption. So basically they have a lot of departments starting to build out solutions in Azure. They have spread around, scattered development teams. There's no one really centralized governing the security. And this has led to some disasters in some cases where they don't have the insight, and suddenly they get compromised, and then it's a challenge with that. So in this session, we're going to try to cover how you can reduce your risk in your Azure security posture, and also how you can easily adopt and have this built-in functionality in Azure. So my name is Stefan Schörling. I work at Innofactor. I help our customers to drive their cloud adoption in a secure fashion.
And I'm Johan Dahlbom. I work as a cloud solution architect at Accenture, helping my customers on their journey to the cloud. And when it comes to security, I think security is something that we all should work with, even though there are a lot of people that don't think that at the moment. So yeah, right.
So in my opinion, security is really important because that's kind of what I live for. But adopting the cloud it's really a shared responsibility. You need to take action on security, both from the customer side, but also from the Microsoft side. And Microsoft is taking care of their part really well. So it's representing the blue here on the icon. So they take care of the infrastructure, the services that they provide, if we talk on the service level. So they take care of the hypervisors, they patch their infrastructures, they take care of the physical security, they make sure the data centers are running, they have fences, electricity, and all of that is their responsibility. But then if we talk IaaS, they leave off at the IaaS level. So then your responsibility comes from the VM. So if we keep moving to the next level about logical security, Microsoft is also responsible for the logical security, where they keep the customers separated on the network level, storage level, and also from an administrative level. They have different teams managing different aspects of their services. So the storage guys at Microsoft takes care of storage, then they have the compute guys who take care of their part. So that's really, really a good essence when we talk about that. So if we move to the security posture, Microsoft has a huge security team. They invest over $1 billion yearly on security. They have cyber hunting teams who hunt for threats. They have a cyber defense operations center who actually are monitoring all their services. So basically they are operating Bing, they're operating some of these huge global present services where they get signals, security signals, like 6.5 trillion signals every day, which they analyze, use all of their magic machine learning, AI and stuff, and find out what's really going on in the world. And as a customer, we can use this data that's being exposed to us through the intelligent security graph, and that's beneficial for us as a customer to take care of that data and get the threat insights they had on that. They also have active penetration teams who are actually penetration testing their stuff. So they keep the infrastructure secure on an ongoing basis. So that's really good, which is kind of tough for many customers because that's not capabilities we often own in our own environments. So they also go ahead and pursue the legal stuff. So if they find someone doing bad stuff, they hand it over to their digital crimes unit who take action on that. But this session is really about what's our responsibility is. So if we go back to this, if we look on the platform level, we really need to take care of identity and governance. So I own the identity. Who has access to what? Who is capable of doing what? So I, as a customer, need to take that as my full responsibility. I need to build our governance model. I need to build our delegation model, and so on. So that's really vital from that perspective. So if we move down to the operating system, if we talk about IaaS, Microsoft is handling the hypervisor. My responsibility is really the VM. I still need to maintain the VM. I need to patch it. I need to make sure I have firewalls. I need to make sure that I have the right administrative rights on it, and so on. I'm still responsible for backups. If I want to have data across geo-regions, I need to make sure I plan that when I do my design. So it's still on my responsibility. Also, if I want to use encryption, that's my responsibility to configure encryption. If I have server-side encryption, and then if we talk about networking, I'm responsible for networking, building the networking, making sure that my connectivity is not exposing endpoints to the internet, for an example. You have anything to add here, Johan?
I think you covered most of the things, but one thing that I see a lot of customers are missing out on is the governance pieces when it comes to identity management. Just because you're moving to the cloud, that doesn't mean necessarily that Microsoft are handling your accounts and creating these accounts in the cloud, and we will go in a little bit further into that later, is something that you need to manage and govern just as you do in the on-premises environment.
The challenge here is the organizational aspect, because you have dev teams who develop stuff. They put stuff in production, they build it out, and they can have 10 dev teams, but there's no central view of this. And it's most often that these teams don't take care of security because they're developer focused, they do dev stuff, and then for us to kind of get this together, there's a solution in Azure called the Azure Security Center, which we can incorporate and get into our environment and do assessments of the things there. So.
Exactly, and Security Center gives us an overview on our current security posture in Azure, and it actually both assesses on-premises solutions if we have added the agents to those, and also solutions that are built into Azure. And it also gives you a little bit of recommendations on how you can help to prevent and mitigate the risks that you have, and we can also go in and even get alerts on things that are happening in our environment, which is something we will go through a little bit later. And the things that we can assess and go through in Azure Security Center at the moment is compute, i.e. VMs. We can go through web apps, it will assess those. Storage, obviously look into networking and what type of information we have there. Networking is still an essential piece when we are building security in our environments. And then something that's new since a few weeks back is identity and access, because even though we have all these things with network security, identities are still where we control access to this environment, and it's at the gate. So we really need to do that. And something that they recently released that has been in Office 365 for quite a while now is something called SecureScore. That has been in Office 365 and in Windows Defender ATP for a while. They have now introduced this also into Azure Security Center and into Microsoft 365, and this gives us a score that we can follow up over time and see that we are actually improving, which is great. And then you can also have a competition between your other companies in the same type of industry to see if you are doing better than them when it comes to security. So I think that's a great way to measure these kind of things.
An important thing here to add is that we know that not everyone is just running pure Microsoft security vendors. So there are other vendors that are actually integrating to the Azure Security Center, so you get their signals, their intelligence in this dashboard as well. So that's really important that you can get this homogeneous system where you can add the third-party vendors as well for other capabilities.
Exactly, and as you can see here, there are a lot of red in my dashboard. So what I want to go through now is some of the recommendations that I have been given in this portal. And this is a long list, so I will try to break it down to the most important ones according to me and try to give you a few examples on what these addresses. So the first ones are the following. Remove external accounts with owner permissions for your subscriptions. And this is something that I see at more or less every customer. And the reason for that is when we started to use Azure and we had an enterprise agreement, there was only one way of adding accounts as an owner, and that was Microsoft accounts. Microsoft accounts, as you guys know, they are owned by the person, not by the organization. And the owner of the subscription holds the keys to the kingdom. You do not want the person to own the keys to the kingdom to your entire Azure subscription. So this is something that if you have this legacy when you set this up, or if you have this case, make sure you fix it and put them to Azure AD accounts instead. So really important stuff there. And then something that we have been talking about for quite some time, and I think it's still important to address because a lot of people still haven't enabled MFA for their admin accounts. if you sign into your subscription, you potentially have a lot of access to resources and can do a lot of damage if those credentials come in the wrong hands. I think that already between 60 to 70% of all breaches are like identity theft. So you really need to have something at the gate to at least enhance security a little bit more. Then there are of course more things that we can do, and we should also try to apply the principle of least privilege when it comes to these things, because we don't want to give everyone access to the entire subscription. So that's one thing. And then we have the other recommendation: add a web application firewall and add a next generation firewall. Why would we ever do that? I mean, the title of this session is built in, not bolted on. One could argue that putting a next generation firewall or a web application firewall is to bolt something on. That is true, but there are cases when you can do that as a mitigation to solve a specific problem. And I have an example with a customer of mine that has a website, and at their website, it's an e-commerce platform. You can sign out, check out stuff, of course, in the shopping cart, and you can apply gift card redemptions and stuff like that. And they had a flaw in their application there. So it was easy to guess the gift card IDs. So people were doing brute force attacks on that. And of course, that is something that I would classify as a bug in the application, of course. And the other problem was that not only was it easy to guess those gift card IDs, they were also charged for each query if that gift card was valid or not, because it was hosted on an external vendor. So that was really bad. So what we did then was to enable a specific feature in their web application firewall to mitigate this specific threat before they fixed it in the application. So if you have these kinds of bugs in the applications, this is a great way of addressing that. Even though it's somewhat bolted on, you should always fix the root cause. And then we have the last one, which is also a quite obvious one, but people still miss it. And I have a very recent example on why it's so important to address this. Restrict traffic to internet-facing endpoints. And we were setting up an Oracle test performance environment in Azure for a customer a while back. And fine and dandy, it was an isolated environment, so no big risk there. So we actually exposed that specific VM to the internet with SSH. And by default, for some reason, Oracle sets up an account in Linux, which has a username and password, which is more or less default. And said and done, it took 20 minutes before someone had breached that machine, and we had to scrap it and deploy a new one. And it took 20 minutes, but while actually deploying Oracle. So this is really something that you need to take into consideration. Even if you are just doing something like a quick fix, never ever do that in your production environment without restricting the source IPs to internet-facing endpoints, if you are using RDP or SSH, for example.
And that's typically what developers do, right? So,
I didn't say it. Right. So this is a great way of assessing your current situation and sort of give you a list on, if you fix these things, we will heavily improve security in our environment.
So if you have these all different dev teams on different subscriptions, different resource groups, or whatever you do, the Azure Security Center gathers all this data to one place where you can, as an admin, see the security posture and kind of interact with them without being blind, not having access to their resources, basically. So. Yeah,
and a recent addition to the Security Center, yeah, I know it's super hard to see what it is because it's a network map. No one understands it anyway. It gives you an overview on how your network is interconnected in Azure, and as you can see, there are a few alerts there, which is basically another view on the recommendations page. So as you can see here, we have 2 recommendations regarding to internet-facing VMs. And if I try to zoom in a little bit more, you can see that, yeah, you should restrict access to an internet-facing endpoint. And yeah, you might need to add a web application firewall so you can fix things in case there are problems in the application. So again, another way to just interface this to those that are looking into the solution. Right.
All right, so let's move over to policies and blueprints. So there is something called policies in Azure Security Center, which you can enable. So we have all these knobs you can turn on for network security groups, disk encryption, system updates, and so on. So basically, we enable these checks to be done on our resources and gives us the insights to and the alerts and the detections coming up for us. So there's also a thing when it comes to policies. For example, if we're an organization, we're based in Europe, we only want to deploy to certain data centers in Europe, limit developers from deploying it to other data centers. We can do something called policy definitions, where we can build rules. These rules can be like, you're only allowed to provision resources in these data centers. We can also do rules like to mitigate the endpoint here, that you only allowed to deploy VMs without a public endpoint, for example. So if the developers are trying to do that, we can actually govern that they are not able to do it. So it gives us an enforcement and gives us that capability to kind of govern how things are done in all our subscriptions and environments. What's recently new here is also the blueprints. So if we have compliance patterns we need to follow, like PCI DSS or any of the others, Microsoft is going to give us these kind of framework of things that we should comply with. So this could give us the insights and the kind of the definitions on how PCI environments should be configured, and that would help us in this. And this is currently in preview, so it's fairly new. Some of you may have seen it already, but it's kind of for us to be helped with. So.
Yeah, so it's basically a packaged governance solution for your subscriptions to roll out, to be compliant and add the additional setups that you need in order to secure your environment and comply with the different regulatory requirements that you might have. Right, so we discussed the recommendations and the security center and the things around that. What we also have the possibility of doing in Azure Security Center is to get alerts on threats and detect threats in our environment. So this is just a list on different threats that has been seen in one environment for quite a while ago. And this gets information from different parts of our environment. So with the VM agents that we have on the machines, we get information about, for example, unsuccessful logons with RDP. We can get information from SQL servers if we have issues there. We can even see that suspicious processes were executed if we have these agents enabled. So this is really good to get an overview of what you have in your environment. And looking into an example here, we have a failed RDP brute force attack. If you have this information, hopefully you don't end up with this situation because you haven't exposed your endpoints externally, but if you had, or if you even have an internal threat, someone's trying to brute force your VMs, if you see this, you can easily ingest this data into a SIEM solution, or if you don't have that, you can let someone use this portal, create alerts based on that, and prevent this from happening. Because you do not want a failed RDP brute force attack to end up being a successful RDP brute force attack. So this is something that is really good, and if you don't have anything else, you should at least use this.
Yeah, it's really, really good, and this is typically capability you don't have in your on-prem environment. So this kind of just gives you an easy way to get this into your environment and get these capabilities, because most of some customers, of course, with the narrow cases have all of these fine capabilities, but most of the customers doesn't have this baseline even. So this is a great improvement. So.
Absolutely. Okay, time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So
what does Azure Security Center basically gives you, or how can that help in your security posture and practically get it? So we have the security posture, so we can get the policy managed environment, we can get these organizational policies applied, we can set this governance framework. It can help you with that, and also with the blueprint, you can get support of that. Then we get, of course, the threat protection. We get all of these alerts from the different detection methods we have, so we can get all of these signals in, we can get that surfaced for us.
Exactly, and tying back to the name of this session, this is built in Azure by default, enabled by default, gives us, if we just go into this security center, we will definitely make our environment more secure faster than if we don't use it. So it's definitely worth looking into. And if you guys want to read up more on Azure Security Center, you have the aka.ms/ASC link. And with that, we want to say thank you.
Yeah,
and if you guys have any questions, we will be at the side of the stage after the session, and you can find us on Twitter, on those handles there.
So just grab us and ask your questions, or tweet us later if you want to follow up. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoy your rest of the conference here. So
Yeah.
thank you very much.